Um, before we get going though, make sure you subscribe to the Garbage to Gold podcast because you don't want to miss anything that we're putting out. We've got some really, really good episodes coming, and I know you guys are gonna love this one today with Evan Brinker, the owner of the Competitive Edge, which is a freaking amazing gym. It's my favorite gym in the area, and I've worked out at a bunch of gyms. There's a lot of great gyms in the area, but you've been around for quite a while,
Yep.
and like your gym just has so much more to offer than anything else in the area for the price. And you guys have been around for 18 years now.
Right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's impressive, and it's a big gym. Like
It
most
is.
gyms are small,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, and I remember working out. I've been kind of off and on at the gym, at the Competitive Edge, for probably close to 10 years. I feel like the first time I started working out there was like 2014.
Right. We had just completed that building
Mm-hmm.
spring of 13.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's the basketball court.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's like that's a done deal for me. When I
Mhm.
saw that, I was like, dude,
Oh, it's a huge pulling point for us.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to take my child there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of gyms won't let you bring your child, and I
Yeah.
can understand that.
Yes, we make exceptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If have you had any problems with like people bringing kids and they're just brats?
Not too many. A couple times you gotta say something they understand, and the kid sits in
Right.
the lobby on like an iPad or something, and not too big of a deal.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, when did you work at any gyms before?
No.
So
No.
you just jumped right into
Mm-hmm.
this.
Right out of college.
Were you in like, were you doing bodybuilding or fitness?
No, it was
personal
always
training?
always sports.
Always
So in
sports.
high school, played sports. Then went to college, played football at Lindenwood University. Got into big into fitness. Through high school, realized what it could do for you.
Mhm.
Make you feel better at sports, more confidence, and I liked what it did. So through college, you got to work out. Nonstop. Football consumed your whole day pretty much all the way through. So got done with college and realized I wanted to continue doing something like that, and looked in the area, and there really wasn't any gym that I wanted the way I thought gym should be. So I wanted to design my own. So went that route.
So, how tough was that? Because you're probably early 20s when you decided to do
22, yeah.
that. 22.
Mm-hmm.
Did you didn't have any experience running a business up to
Zero.
that point?
Mm-hmm.
And how did you fund the project? Because you built your gym from literally the ground up,
Right.
correct?
Yeah. So grew up on a farm whole life. So I worked my whole life on the farm. So I had money, a little money saved up from that. So I invested pretty much all that. Still business loans. Had to take some out. Had a business partner actually for the first 7 months. Weren't seeing eye to eye and just wasn't going the right direction. So I ended up buying them out right away. And then just started kind of revamping and changing as we went. So
Was
a lot
it?
of trial and error.
Yeah.
A lot of doing it
Yeah.
yourself, like you said, doing everything yourself, try to cut down cost. So
Right. Was it ever scary? Like,
whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you weren't the type of dude that was just like, nah, I got this.
No, I mean you have to put that front on all
Right.
the time. Yeah, you
But-
can let people know, but hell, there's times you're hoping you're gonna pay your bills.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of times a handful of years there, you're not quite sure what the next step is.
So you're 22 and you decide, hey, I'm gonna open up and
Mhm.
I'm gonna start my own gym. I'm gonna build this thing.
Yeah.
How did you find the ground? How did you pick that location?
So this is our third location actually, where we're at
Oh,
now.
really?
Mm-hmm.
So you
Our
built
first
you built 3 of
location,
them?
we upgraded each time. So the first two we didn't. Well, the first one we didn't build. It's out there at Bluff Road and 100, that Blues Hog building, where they're building that new gas station. We were in that building the first 2 years.
Okay.
So we're out there. I was looking around. There was really, 18 years ago, 19 years ago, there was really not a whole place for rent. Washington
Right.
wasn't near as big as it is now.
Yeah,
So we were looking
Washington's
around for
fun.
a place to go, and that building happened to have space for lease. So it was between that. We're shop around the corner is now by Pizza Hut,
Mhm.
and where Johnny Brock's is right now, that little strip mall over by Subway. So we decided to go out to west of Washington first. So we were there for 2 years, put up a big gym, winging it the whole time pretty much. They had about a third of the equipment we have now, just a big open space, and just didn't work. The rent was too high. The building was starting to not, the AC units were shot, and need to revamp. We weren't 24 hours yet either. That wasn't a real thing in this town.
Right.
So after about 2 years, our lease was up. I decided to look around some more, and we found where we are now. We're actually back behind that off of Clearview. They have some buildings for rent, like warehouses.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing the size I wanted. So I contacted them like, hey, will you build me a 5,000 square foot building if I pay you like 6 months in advance rent? They agreed. They built me a building, and we were there for about 4.5 years.
Oh,
About
wow.
4 year mark, I realized we were getting too big. We were outgrowing our spot, and they had just bought all that land where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
So I told them, hey, I want to move. I want to build a different building. So we talked about it and came to an agreement, and we broke ground on that building November of 12. So yeah,
So been rock and rolling since about 2012.
we built that field house in August of 18. The
Yeah, I was
extension
gonna
of
say
that.
because that's relatively new.
Only about 6 years now. Yeah.
Yeah. So the people that have been kind of like your landlord has built these buildings for you, and you've been putting like basically a down payment ish.
Yeah.
So you're kind of semi-funding
Correct.
while they're carrying the rest.
Mhm.
Has that would you have been able to do it without them?
Probably not.
Probably
No, we
not.
have lease agreements. We've been working through, and kind of the purchase options are
Right.
being agreed upon.
So that relationship with them was good.
Solid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they believe in you. They
Yeah.
know what you're about.
So they're the same landlords from the very. So after the first 2 years, that's where I met them. So I've been with them for 16 years now.
yeah.
Work with them and helping me seeing the vision, and allowing me to use up more land and keep adding on.
So was the business partner? They were only involved on that first
7
initial
months. Mhm.
deal, and then after that, you met the new people that you're.
I bought them out. These people are just like I said, just more. They own the land. They own that. They're able to build. He owns the construction company that built them and everything. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Right. That's a
Mhm.
really good, relationship to
Oh, yeah.
have. And could you speak a little bit more about that? Like how important it is to meet the right people when you're trying to get in
100%.
business.
Yeah. Big help was also was like Bank of Washington.
Mhm.
Buzz Eagle Camp. I started training him actually, and he said the same thing. He saw the vision that I had and like what we were growing, and I was able to get loans that the business needed that maybe other banks might have said maybe not, or maybe declined, or not given as much money as we needed. So that was a huge help as well. Find the right people that believed in you and could see your vision and could see that you were working your butt off to get where you want to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And have you are you from Washington
Yeah,
originally?
yep.
Okay, so you're they know who you
Oh,
are
yeah.
and you've been around.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, cuz the location of your gym is like
Dead center.
it's the best.
Yeah.
Like I mean right there on 47.
Oh, yeah. As soon as
and
I've heard
it's-
them, they bought that land. I said, I want that spot first. I want dibs on
And
that
you-
location.
You probably couldn't have timed it any better
No, it was
either
perfect.
because Washington and Union both have exploded.
Mm-hmm.
And all the growth is along 147. Union, I could honestly see in like the next 20 years they just merge.
Oh, they're talking about expanding that highway, that 4 lanes.
Yeah,
They're talking about forever.
once
but
that
once that
goes-
happens, it'll be huge.
Yeah, they get
Mhm.
that to 4 lanes. And some of the older farm people
Oh,
that
yeah.
own all that farmland, once that sells and people start developing that
Mhm.
over the next 10, 20 years, I can see Washington Union basically just being like,
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to do nothing but benefit you because, you're going to
More
get that
traffic.
much more
Mhm.
traffic. So yeah, I mean, there's that gym has a lot going its way.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
So, what's like the worst part about having the gym? Like,
A lot of hours. Always is. So everybody wants to own a business. This happens with every entrepreneur, honestly.
mhm.
It looks great for the outside in, but there's the hours you put in after hours. Everybody thinks you open a gym, throw some towels out, clean some equipment, and just run it. It runs by itself. It doesn't happen that way. I mean, I work probably 14, 15-hour days throughout the week. Weekends, I'm usually there a decent amount. But it's just the behind the scenes and just the constant hours because you got to keep your costs down.
Mhm.
Try not to hire too many employees, and it's just a lot of hours.
Yeah, I've noticed, just in the short amount of time that I've been back, kind of like at the gym and doing some weightlifting and stuff, and just trying to stay in shape. I've noticed that you're there all the time.
Mhm.
You think that's a 100% necessary, or
I
is it
think
just
it-
something that you like to do?
Probably back off a little bit, but like anything else, you're gonna make money while you're there. Might as well keep working. So yeah, I get there about 4:30, 4:45 every morning throughout the week. Sleep on the weekends a little bit. Then I leave sometimes 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night throughout the week as well. So
Right.
but the thing is with training wise, like I said, people you're at their disposal. So some people get there at 5 in the morning to train. Some people get there at 9 p.m. 8, 9 o'clock training sessions. You're kind of at their mercy here what their schedule works with. So
And you're still you're active in personal training. Like
big time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. How do you like doing that?
I do like that part. Luckily, we got to the part to where I have a great office manager. She handles a lot of the ins and outs, everything with that as well. So I don't have to micromanage as much. She's able to give the tours, cleans, signs people up, takes care of a lot of the paperwork. And I'm able to sit back and do what I want to do is train the groups, the individuals, and take instead of being so deep into the daily stuff, I can do my training and she takes care of the rest. So it's merged to a very good working relationship.
Yeah. So you I feel like with personal training though, that's a difficult thing to make money, build a client list, and keep people around. What's what's your least favorite part of doing that?
People not giving enough time for results. A lot of people want instant results. It just doesn't happen. Took you
Yeah.
years to get either out of shape or you haven't been worked out for years. So you're just not in the shape you want to be in. Well, it doesn't happen overnight. A lot of people have to realize that. And you have to kind of hammer that into them that this takes work.
Right.
It was easy. Everybody be in shape.
Yeah.
So that's the hardest part is convincing people it takes a time. Trust the process. And then once you start seeing results, it's a lot easier for them.
You've probably heard every excuse
Oh,
in
yeah.
the book.
Yeah.
as well.
And we all make excuses. But It's
Yeah.
just, try and keep people motivated. But once they see results, it's a big help for them. Big motivator.
Right. So I like lifting weights and stuff, and I like that style of gym, but I also do like a lot of martial arts. Have you ever done any martial arts?
I have not. No.
No. Okay. So how do you handle gym drama? Because martial arts gyms, there's a lot of gym drama.
And that's one of the main reasons we don't allow it.
Right.
Because we've had people like, hey, we need, punching bags. Like, it's not our wheelhouse because that
Right.
invites a certain type of environment that we don't really need at a personal training, 24-hour family-ish style facility. So that's how we allow that because in a lot of those martial arts plates, it is like that. People, a little bit of the ego, some temper sometimes. So we don't really allow much to invite that mentality in. So,
Right. So you're no, you haven't had really much problem with
No.
people, having, kind of
Not too bad,
gym
really. No, we've
bully.
had some arguments in the past, and it's just nothing really. A little heated exchange, and then they're usually fine after that. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, we never had any real big issues.
Right. So hang on just a second. I gotta look through here. So we don't have too much of a problem with any gym conflicts or anything.
No,
which
the only
is
thing is
always
people sneaking people in that aren't members.
good. Ooh, yeah.
So
I could see that.
we try to stay pretty adamant about that because you want to keep a safe facility. You want to fair for people who are paying for the membership like you to
Mhm.
use the facility, but it's not fair when people are sticking their friends in 9, 10 o'clock at night, 20, 30 kids on a basketball court who aren't members. So they damage something or get hurt. I'm liable, not them. And
How do you go about preventing that? Is that like the cameras and the key fob?
key fobs are a big part. Doors locked. So your key fob, of course, you have one, gets you in, 24-hour access. Cameras, I can watch from the gym or I can watch on my phone mobily.
Right.
And members, some members, I'm good friends with, like, hey, there's some people snuck in that, or at least walked in, like one person scanned in, like 5 people walked in with them,
Right.
probably not members. So I live close enough. Sometimes I'll do surprise check-ins and stuff like that. Or we make posts about like, hey, fair warning, guys, either pay for a day pass or get a membership or don't come in.
Right.
Very simple. Follow the rules.
How do you handle complaints? Do you get much
We
complaints from
don't.
people? I feel like that would just drive me
We
insane.
don't. Suggestions. I won't say complaints. Always get suggestions like, oh, you should add to your gym. Like, if it was a good idea, I probably would have done it already. It's probably not a big money maker,
Right.
so that's why we haven't done it. So
Do you so like you've said, you spend a lot of time at your
Yeah,
gym.
I
You're
pretty
there
much live
pretty
there.
much every day.
yeah,
And do you think do you really go out of your way to try to really get to know all of your guests that come in there? Or
as much as I can. The problem with me training all day, I'm downstairs or field house, turf, basketball court, downstairs training. I don't see everybody that signs up as much. So Liz in the office or my afternoon person, signs up probably 90% of the members now. So I don't get to see if there's new members coming in because I'm either downstairs or outside. So I don't get to see a face with a name or a new person. So not as much as I could connect, I guess. But like I still say, say hi to everybody, greet everybody. But on a personal basis, it's kind of hard. We have upwards of 1,000 people. So
Right.
it's harder to do.
See, I always like the gym that I train at up in Arnold. That's a martial arts gym. And like the head coach, he's like a good friend of mine now, but that like just recently developed.
Yeah.
And I trained there for like 4 years and never even really talked to the guy. And I don't, I always feel weird like when I come to a new gym and like it just feels awkward, and I'm not sure.
It always is at first, I think.
You
Every
know?
gym you go to.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm super comfortable around gyms. If I'm out of state, I'll go somewhere and do a day pass or something, and still I feel awkward sometimes.
Do you see when you go to other gyms, do you kind of like pick them apart? Is there a lot of
100%.
things that that you see other gyms, like even around here, that you're just like, why are they doing that?
Well, I don't go around here. I don't go to any other gyms. You see social media posts, of course. But yeah, when I go out of town, like Arizona or something, or Florida, I'll try to get a workout in and go to a gym and just pick everything apart. Just look at it, see what they're doing. Like, hey, this is pretty cool. And other things you wonder why they haven't upgraded that thing yet, or why it's laid out this way and stuff like that. But yeah, locally, yeah, I mean, everybody keeps tabs on each other around here and what they're doing, stuff like that. So
do you think like all the gyms that you've been to, kind of picking and pulling the good ideas, has that helped your gym?
100%.
So a lot of the stuff that you've implemented that you think are
I stole a lot of my stuff legitimately. I used to work at a place up in Chesterfield Valley called Sports Enhancement Group, and they trade like Isaac Bruce, Laurinaitis, all these guys from the Rams, Cardinals players, Ryan Howard for the Phillies. So I'd go up there right out of college. I went there to like speed agility training, plyometric training, and a lot of the stuff, the way they laid things out is kind of, I based a lot of my stuff off of that. Others is more just, it was at a gym. It was a training facility. That's all it was. But I still like, have the tracks for the speed part. You'll be able to do a 40-yard dash inside. They had that. They had the turf. They had a weight area. So I kind of always wanted something like that. So we just made it much bigger and made it 24-hour access and gym access, stuff like that.
What do you think, if you could attribute like one, maybe two, maybe even three things, what has set you apart from like all the other gyms?
All right.
What do you think is like
size for sure? We got 24,000 square feet. And I think that's pretty much, I think, almost triple the next closest one. Besides Planet Fitness, but they're not our wheelhouse. Planet Fitness is a totally different design, style, not our competition. 24-hour access is a big deal. A lot of people need that nowadays. It just makes it easier, less employees, makes it a little cheaper on your end. And the sports-specific stuff, having the field turf, having the tracks, having the 24-hour basketball court, and just we invest heavily in our equipment. We buy nothing used. Everything's new. It's all state-of-the-art. The highest commercial brand you can possibly get. Our treadmills, Woodways, are the best in the world. You're not going to find a better brand. Hammer strength, all the same stuff like the NFL players use. So we get high-quality equipment. So we invest big on the stuff that we have.
Once, those, do you think that's one of the worst parts about having a gym is the equipment because it's so expensive? That
and the square footage you need. I mean, look at most gyms are, 8,000, 10,000 square feet. That's still a lot of rental space. How big is this office right now? 1,200?
Yeah, probably somewhere around there.
8, 9, 10 times bigger than this. Ours is 20 times bigger.
Plus a utility bill.
Absolutely. Try to heat and cool that thing in the winter, summertime. It's expensive. Insurance is sky high. So your overhead is huge. Your employees aren't expensive. Like, most places, your employee costs are pretty high. Like an office setting, you get by with a smaller office, we probably have 10, 15 employees running through there. Ours is opposite. Less employees, huge square footage. So that's where a lot of your overhead comes.
Do you think you would ever sell the gym?
Everything's for sale for the right price.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Everything always is.
That actually kind of
surprises me. It'd be a big number,
me.
though.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I'm sure it would be. And it'd be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually surprised that, that you would sell it. I figured you'd be like, nah. At least not right now.
Not right now, but for the right price in the future. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's the whole goal for everybody, honestly.
Right.
Build something up to have worth it, either pass it down to somebody or
I was going to say, like, What's what do you have like an exit strategy with the gym? Like any new locations or build
We
on
always
what you
got
already
something in
have?
mind. We're always talking about possibly adding on somewhere or doing something, maybe a satellite location. But I think I would spread myself a little too thin doing that. That's probably we talk about try not to micromanage, but I think I have an issue with that. So having two locations would probably I think it'd be difficult for me to handle mentally. So
Right.
that's why I probably wouldn't do that. So we'd probably add on more to where we have now.
No,
So,
I
but
hear
exit
you.
strategy, hopefully just honestly keep growing, add on some more, try to get some more revenue coming in, and eventually 10, 20 years down the road, sell the thing. So,
Sell it.
mhm.
Do you think you would be more inclined? I mean, I know it's 20 years away, but would you be more inclined to sell to like a younger entrepreneur, somebody that's trying to
I
make
think
a
so.
name,
Work with them a
or
little
would you
bit,
be like,
hopefully help them get in the game a little bit and make it
as
worthwhile for
opposed
both.
to selling to like a big
I would hate
franchise?
that. No, I would do a franchise.
That's cool.
Individual for sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I respect that. So, that's actually really cool. You surprised me there. What is 24 hour? What's an average 24 hours for you? What's your day to day looking like?
All right.
You know, from like your diet, supplements,
Yep.
what you do from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. That is,
It varies a little bit, but mostly it's get up at 4 o'clock every day throughout the week, Monday through Friday, 4 a.m. Clients at 5 a.m. So I try to make breakfast the night before.
okay.
Either be some eggs, sausage, something like that, kind of mix it all together. So get up early, warm that up. If I have a client at 5, I'd probably eat after that first client. Try to get to the gym, get going, check things, get going. First client's 5. I usually have somewhere between 12 and 15 clients a day. So 12 to 15 hours of training. Doesn't give a lot of time for much else. So get up, train, try to get a snack in, little breakfast, train straight through to about noon or 1 probably, sneak a meal in. If I got time to lift, I like to get done midday if I can. If I can't, it'll be later in the evening. So it depends on my schedule with clients. I don't schedule people around my workout. I schedule my workout around theirs.
Right.
So they come first. So then train all afternoon to the evening. And it also depends on the year, what
When
time
you
of year
say
it is.
train, you mean training
Training
other
clients.
people.
Yeah, nonstop. It's usually every hour on the hour.
How long are your workouts?
Hour and a half, hour range, somewhere in
and a
there. Yeah.
So when do you do mostly like upper body, lower body? What's your workout style? What is your favorite?
I'll
thing
break it down to
do?
body parts. Yeah. Gotta keep it simple because like I said, we're kind of crowded. Like today I only had 45 minutes. So I did quick arms, something better than nothing. So Monday's usually chest. Once again, it depends. If my Monday's super busy, I'll try to get on Sunday, get a head start on a workout. If I know my Monday's gonna be slammed, I might skip Monday instead and work out on Sunday instead of that. But usually Monday's chest, Tuesday's arms, Wednesday's legs, Thursday's back, Friday's shoulders, Saturday I'll probably hit chest again, and Sunday probably hit legs again.
Are you lifting still pretty heavy, or are you
I
going
am
more?
back to it. I was doing really well, then I started slight injuries.
Yeah.
Pulled a hamstring, left hamstring, pulled that. Shoulder was bothering me a little bit, so
I've always been like I'm a smaller guy. You're obviously much bigger, but I've always really just enjoyed like the higher rep range. I think what do they call that? Hypertrophy. Maybe?
hypertrophy. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've always really enjoyed that, and I'm like, I've always been more into cardio, which like with martial arts, the jujitsu and
Right.
stuff,
Yeah.
is like
Yeah,
extremely-
Bruce strength's not going to help you with that stuff. So
No, it's
hypertrophy's
actually-
perfect for that.
Yeah, it can actually be detrimental because you when you're in something that's like so cardio based.
Oh, you fatigue right away.
Yeah, it's just so much harder to carry around 200
it's
pounds.
pointless.
You
Yeah.
know, but there's some really, really great grapplers in the 200-pound plus.
Oh yeah.
They're not quite as fast and agile as the small little guys. But like watching the sport for them guys, and even fucking like wrestling. I don't know if you've ever watched any of that, but I love wrestling, especially for the big heavy guys,
Yeah.
because it's fucking awesome. I actually have tomorrow. We've got a sumo wrestler coming on. Did you watch Channel 4 last night?
I did not. No.
Okay, so this guy, this sumo wrestler guy, he's coming on the podcast tomorrow. He's the heaviest.
Where's he from?
He's from Japan, but
What?
he
Where is he from around here though? Where's he live?
lives in High Ridge.
No crap.
Landed in High Ridge on a. He came over here to do a seminar. Got on a dating app, met his wife, and she lives in High Ridge. And
Wow.
then he starts training sumo at the gym I train at in Arnold. Shout out to Kirk Huff and Arnold BJJ. And yeah, I was like, dude, we should interview this
That's
guy.
crazy.
Yeah, but he's been in John Wick, and he's kind of a celebrity. So
I think I know who you're talking about.
yeah, Yamamoto, Mr. Yamamoto. We're
Wow.
gonna take him to the sushi place here in Union,
Jesus Christ.
and that's what he charged me for the interview. He's like,
Fair.
yeah,
Well, we'll see. I don't know. How much is he going to eat?
yeah,
Could be
might
expensive,
It could be, it could be a hefty bill. Hopefully not. I'm cash poor. Anyway, so what kind of supplements? What type of food are you eating, and how many calories? Are you counting calories?
I don't. I never got into that. I don't like it. I hate it. I'm busy enough. I don't need that. I don't think.
You hear that a lot in the fitness industry. Count your macros,
I
and
hate doing that stuff. I've always hated it. College football, I hated it. Everything. I just hated doing that stuff. So my theory always was just eat as clean as you can. High protein. Get your vegetables in. Get your fruits in. Stay away from the sugar. Very simple. You're hungry, eat. As long as you work out hard enough,
right.
the fire's hot enough, it'll burn calories. So I'm sure I could do a lot better, but I just don't have the time. I don't have the want to do it. I don't. If I was doing bodybuilding, I probably would do it,
Yeah.
or if a show, or I was doing like a fitness show or something. But it's just not my thing.
So
If I'm hungry, I eat.
were you ever a bodybuilder at any
No.
point? You never
No,
went
it
on
was always
any
about football.
competitions or shows?
Yeah, after college football, I played semi-pro for a handful of years, and
Have
was
you
always
trained
based.
a bodybuilder, somebody that's wanting to do a competition?
no, we have never have. We do more of the hey, I just want to look better. I want to get stronger, or we do a whole bunch of athletes. Like we probably
Right.
train. Well, our summer group alone, we had 115 athletes just
Yeah.
in that group.
And that's like the high school sports, basketball, softball,
yeah.
stuff like that. No, that's awesome. I feel like you guys probably have like the market.
We have the facility for it.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at the facility. We built it around because I always wanted to train athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we, made the gym about. Now, yeah, there's 24-hour access for anybody and everybody can use it. But yeah, I mean, we have 8,000 square feet of field turf, 4,000 square foot sand pit, basketball court, the tracks, the specialized equipment for athletes, such as the Woodway Force, the one you get tied to. If you ever see that treadmill on the far end,
I know what you're talking about.
you basically get to wear a belt. You type your resistance on the floor from 1 to 100 feet. Basically, you're pulling a sled in place.
Yeah.
So a lot of dynamic explosion. All the Kaiser stuff we bought, the air pressure stuff in the corner, we use a lot of that. So, yeah, our market is the